Hello, good morning, Alexandra.
Hi. I'm trying to see. Can you hear me well? Can you see me well?
I can see you well. I can hear you well. Welcome to Bali. Welcome to Asia.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm so excited. As you can tell, I set up my little recording space.
Okay, cool. Thank you for that. So you came in Bali
I
yesterday,
have
right?
a nice, really nice bed set up here.
All right, Alexandra. So this is the second episode of live chat with Ed, and I'm very happy to introduce you to our small community. So if you can share with us what is your brand, what is your purpose, what you are doing, what is your business, and what you are now doing in Bali.
Yes. Well, thank you for having me in your community, and thank you to everyone who's watching the video or joining or watching this after. I made it to Bali last night at 2 a.m. Bali time, and then I woke up 4 hours later. So I'm a little like still jet lagged. But I'm here because I want to record a few videos and I want to record a program, and I'm here to kind of like get into the creative space, get to meet a lot of amazing people because I have a lot of friends in the personal development world that are here. So I'm really excited to connect with all of them. And what do I do? Well, my website, alexandramu.com, just got updated and posted recently. I'm still tweaking a few things, but my main focus is sexual empowerment. I am all about healthy sexual education, not from a perspective of structural education, but from the area of talking about taboo things, about things that we don't talk about, asking questions that we don't necessarily feel comfortable with or we don't hear a lot about out there. So to me, it's an area that impacts every other area of our life. The sexual energy, it's a life force energy. And I've done a lot of work in Tantra community, and I built Tantra courses, and I worked in an online publisher who dealt with conscious sexuality. And this area of my life has been a space where I was curious in since high school, and then had to do my own healing and my own development after a divorce 9 years ago. So it's been very, very important for me to discover, rediscover, and make sure I have a healthy lifestyle, a healthy sexual education, and I'm empowered in this part of my life. So hence now I'm looking at working with people and building programs and courses to support them in this area of their life, because as you know, and we've talked a bit about this, it's so important to know that the kids we bring up to become adults later have the proper setup, the proper support and education. The teenagers who are curious and have all the crazy hormones going on have the proper tools and the support and the trust in other people around them to guide them healthy in this area of their life. And then us as adults who probably did not have much of that before, we get to experience it now on a different level. We get to ask questions that will help us moving forward. Because from an energetic standpoint, the sexual energy is the most powerful one. It's the creative one. It's the one that births people into the world. So to me, it's no brainer to go into this space and heal the trauma and the problems and the pain that happens in a space that is so beautiful and that it's meant to be so beautiful. What else? Is there anything else in this world that feels better than an actual orgasm? You tell me. So this is me. This is what I'm
I'm,
up to now. I post videos online, and you guys can catch a bunch of them on YouTube or on Instagram or on Facebook. And as I said, I'm building a few more things in the background while I talk about things that are not very mainstream or a bit more controversial. And I call them intimate conversations. So, yeah.
yeah, for all of you guys who are watching this video live, please be free to ask Alexandra everything you want to know about sexual education and about her journey. And I would like to ask you, Alexandra, so who are your ideal clients or ideal customers? And also, how do you think the impact of technology, what kind of impact on our sexual life technology already have, and especially in society 5.0 when everything start to be artificial, how we can actually know what is real, what is not real, how you can
Okay.
help people with those kind of new issues.
Awesome question. Awesome question. So if I were to think of the main person or the main audience that I would work with, I would say it's women. And probably women within my age range, I would say 30 to 40, 45 or something. I'm not saying I wouldn't work with younger women or older women, and I'm not discriminating against men. Because I would love to work with men too. As I said, I would love to work with even kids and do sex education properly, and even teenagers. But the main and the most like closest to my heart are women, because I want to see them empowered in this area of their life. And as a woman who's dealt with pain and trauma and with all the societal issues and shame and guilt, I managed to heal and move beyond these situations in my life. So I want to help other women do the same, because based on that, now I have more confidence, I have more sex appeal, more attraction, more attractiveness, not just physical, but like situations, circumstances, people into my life. You and I met really strangely somehow online. So to me, as soon as I tapped into this energy, as soon as I tapped into the healing and explored this part of my life, a lot of things changed. I would say my whole life changed. I'm on the road living as a nomad and working online and doing the things I want to do, the things I love and I'm passionate about. So I want to see women support each other and help each other and have that strong sisterhood and the strong bond to be there for each other instead of putting each other down or feeling that we're pinned against each other. And we are in a society where we do feel jealous and competitive to the point where we forget about the sisterhood. So that's my main focus these days. And of course, a lot of the teachings that I bring up and I talk about would apply to anyone, men or women, doesn't really matter. We all feel this, we all deal with this part of our life, and a lot of the teaching would apply no like gender neutral. It doesn't matter what type of body you're in. Now, in terms of technology, it's funny, I was watching a video the other day. I don't know if you guys heard of Dr. Ruth. She's this 9-year-old lady now who back in the 80s was super controversial and talked about sex. And she had a radio show, and then she ended up having a TV show, and it was Sex with Dr. Ruth. And it like from the 80s, you can look her up. She's really popular in North America, and she comes from a German background, from like the back craziness of the whole wartime. And she's a psychologist. She's trained and teach. And she was so cute. Everyone was like, ooh, Dr. Ruth, she's all about sex and sexuality. And she was a sex therapist, and she talks about a lot of stuff. Now, I saw a video recently where she says, G-spot is not real. And there's some truth. I mean, it's not fully scientifically proven, but there's more to it. And she talks about no sex in the first date and no one-night stands. And I get it. But we live in a different time. And she even says it. I'm like old school. I come from a different time. So my space, or what I think about technology, is that I want to showcase to people that we are in a different time. We are allowed to make the decisions that we want. And as long as they're healthy decisions for ourselves, as long as we know what we get ourselves into, I say explore, 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 explore. Our sexuality is meant to be enjoyed and explored, and you have to get to know yourself in order to have better experiences. At the same time, I'm not going to say, oh yeah, just go at it, have fun with anyone and everyone at any time. To me, it's again about the mindset and the healthy space that you're in with yourself and in that situation. And when we look at technology, the only little bit of issue that we have is we forget how to connect. We forget how to relate to one another. We swipe left or right or whatever we do. I'm not online dating, and I've been on Tinder a while, and then I'm like, no, this is not for me. To me, the art of conversation, the art of love making prior to love making, because a conversation can be a flirtiness, a foreplay, an erotic play. Getting to know someone, getting to experience them fully is so much better than texting or just being online and looking at photos. Like, I'll show you photos of me that I look amazing because I modeled, and then catch me in a bad day. I'll be like, don't talk to me. I was in the airplane coming over here, and I'm watching a movie, and I'm tired. I flew for 30 hours, and this guy is on the seat in front of me. He pulls his seat down. He turns back. He's like, so what's your name? And he's like, where are you going? Where are you from? And I'm thinking, can't you read this? no, not now. This is not the time. This is not the space to try and hit on me or to flirt with me. Obviously, I'm not in the mind frame. Obviously, I'm distracted by looking at the TV screen. And obviously, I'm just so tired that I barely have that space for myself, not to
Mhm.
mention to now flirt with you. So to me, online, I think it just created a break in
Mhm.
recognizing, oh, is this the right time? Is this how you would approach someone? Is this how you would talk to someone you like or you're interested in? And that's such a big piece to learn how to connect
Mhm.
and relate, how to be confident and face a possible rejection and not get all down or depressed or sad about it. We get rejected every day. It's so funny, I was thinking about this. We get rejected at the grocery store when something is not in stock. We get rejected at school, we get rejected at work, and we don't take it as hardly as when we get rejected in relationships. Oh my gosh. Someone says no to you or someone is not interested in you, you go crazy. I get a lot of messages on Instagram now since I've been doing my videos for the past 3 months.
Mhm.
And they're from a lot of men a lot of the times. And I don't reply. I don't always reply. I'm busy. I do a lot of work online. And I get these messages, why you don't reply? Please say something. And I'm like,
Mhm.
what space are you in right now? Are you empowered or are you disempowered? Are you confident or are you needy? And it's so interesting to observe the dynamics that happen online versus in person because I love talking to people. I love seeing their face. And even if someone's like, oh, I'm a texter and let's text, I'm like, do you have WhatsApp? Do you use like FaceTime or something? Because I love connecting, seeing your face, your eyes, your lips, reading your facial expression. In text, it's so easy to misinterpret things. It's so easy to read into stuff, especially when you type something. I heard it so many times lately. Don't get mad. Don't be upset just because someone said, could you send me photos? And I said, why would you ask a person online you don't know to send you photos? You didn't even ask me if I'm single, if I have any interest. Like, you haven't even taken an interest in me, so why would I send you photos? And the next reply is like, don't get angry, don't get mad. I'm like, I'm not angry, I'm not mad. I'm relating something. I'm asking you questions. I'm trying to showcase, is this the right time? Is this the right question? Is this the right thing for you to connect with me? Because automatically I'll be like, yeah, not gonna work. This is not happening. So it's interesting you brought up technology because I've been like dealing with a lot of thoughts lately with how this impacted and the fact that we forget that we need to relate, we need to know the other person, we need to interact, we need to connect. I know marriages and relationships that are like 10 or 10, 12 years longer and they're not connected with each other anymore. And everyone's on their phone. I mean, don't get me wrong, my family says I'm on the phone all the time. And you can see I speak fast and I do a lot of stuff and I multitask, especially when I do social media and I work with other clients. But to me, it's like the moment you get to sit with someone or the moment you get to
Mhm.
talk to them or the moment you get to hear about their story or talk about their day or like something that they're excited about, it's a completely different vibe, a completely different
Mhm.
interaction than just swiping left or right and filling all these profiles online and be like, I'm matched with a perfect fit for me. Then go meet that person in person. We'll see. That's a different story.
I think, based on what you just described, you have a big market, not only with women but also the men. For example, here in Japan, one of the main issue for the
Mhm.
Japanese women is because the Japanese men are shy, so they don't know how to communicate anymore with the women offline, and that's a big problem because if
Mm.
that communication doesn't start offline, then everything which is online is just kind of illusion, is not the real thing. So excellent. And
Yeah.
I would like to ask you, because I saw you are doing a great content online, like on the YouTube, on Instagram, Facebook. You also have a Facebook group. Like, how are you exactly helping your clients? So how people who are interested in working with you, how they can work with you? Is that online or offline? Is that in a group or in a pair? Can you explain us a little bit more about like your system, how you're actually helping people?
For sure. So right now, I am working on building an online course because I believe in self-development and in personal growth. I've done most of the work myself by myself. I was fortunate to work in an environment where I got to meet energy healers, tantra teachers, and all these other people. But I started by discovering Tantra online, by searching how do I heal? Like I have physical pain down there and I do not enjoy sex anymore. What do I do next? Like I love looking things up and I love experiencing it on myself, like making sure that what I read, what I learn, it applies to my life and it supports my life. Even with Tantra, I'm not a Tantra teacher and I don't want to teach Tantra because Tantra at its origin is so intense and it requires a lot of practice and it requires a lot of commitment and dedication to it. It's a completely different lifestyle. It's not just about having sex differently. Kama Sutra is sex positions. Tantra is a lifestyle of how you interact with people, how you eat your food. So I don't do that because I take things from Tantra that support me and help me and that I can teach others, make the relationships better. Because in the current society, I don't know if a lot of people would be willing to commit how you should commit to a complete lifestyle change. But in the meantime, I take certain things and I'll put them into an online course where you can practice on your own. You can learn in the comfort of your bedroom without fearing anything or thinking that people will judge you. And then I would be open and willing to do one-on-one sessions. Everything I do would be online until I'm able to have a retreat. And then that's a whole different situation. We could meet somewhere like in Bali and have amazing experiences together and work over the weekend and things like that. But even if I do a retreat in person, there's always going to be work you have to do on your own. In this part of our life, we have to practice with ourselves. We have to heal. We have to go within to be able to come now in a space with other people and feel trusted and trust and hold that space for everyone to release what's going on. So for me, the starting point would be an online course. Then we would be a one-on-one coaching. That's a more VIP version versus I could do group coachings and we could look at learning something on your own and then we come together and we communicate, we answer questions, we clarify things. So there are various packages I can set up because for me, like I said, even from a Tantra standpoint, you're the one who has to start the work. The first lesson in Tantra is self-love, self-practice, self-pleasure. Because if you don't know what's going on with this, how can you expect another person to know? They're not in your body, they're not in your heart or in your mind. So we all have to start this journey together. And as you mentioned, that in Japan, women are dealing with men who are more shy. I would just remove even the boundary of location. And I would say, because I get messages from people from India, and Tantra comes from that area. It's a space, I mean, Tantra is not a religion or anything, but that's the playground for it. And I see some crazy things and some repression and oppression of their sexuality that it's like, I'm like, how they came up with this amazing thing. Meanwhile, look what's happening now, or in the past few years, or probably the whole time. I deal with men who are not approaching women generally these days because we get so caught into the fear of all the other things that came up with the sexual abuse and with all the other stuff that are out there right now. I believe we just stand in a fear space too long and too much. Plus, how many women are willing to say, you know what, I'm going to tell this person I like them and I'm interested to get together with them. I grew up in a society where you don't do that. I grew up in Eastern Europe and a woman does not ask a guy out, a woman doesn't say certain things, doesn't dress, doesn't behave, doesn't. And then what do? Sit there and blame the man if he's not making a move, and then I'm angry with him, and he's afraid to approach me because somehow, apparently, at times I intimidate people. And it's like we're in a vicious circle. So how do we break that? How do we break free? To me, as a woman, was recognizing that I can, as a human being, approach another human being. I tell people I like them, and you should see the reaction. And I even tell women, I'm like, oh, I like that guy. I'm going to go talk to him. He's like, what? Just wait for him to come. I'm like, okay. And if that doesn't happen, what do you do? How many times do you go in an airport or at an event or a party or somewhere and you saw someone and you're like automatically pulled towards them, but you're like, not my space. I'm going to wait here and sit here and just like, oh, not even look at him that much because then he's going to think I'm like all easy and stuff. And then you go home that night and think, oh, I wish he came to me. And probably he looks and says, I wish she showed me she's open for me to approach her. Like there's so many little cues that we do not understand or we don't read into, and we're afraid, may reject me, she's with her friends, she doesn't want to be bothered. And then what do? We just get frustrated by the end of the day. So this is my
So true.
little approach.
Yeah.
Both men and women, they need to take that step, face the risk of being rejected, and then the more you do it, the more you talk, the more you interact, the more you ask questions, the easier it gets. You think that after how many years? So I'm divorced for almost 9 years. I've been doing tantra practices and all the personal development for 6 years. And you think that now I face no fear. I'm like, I'm comfortable with anything. When I like someone to the point where I'll be like, I could see this person long term for me, my heart is like, oh, and then I'm thinking, does my hair and my, like, I'm like, ooh, is it all good? Like, we still have these little insecurities that we may go into, and we may question things because of the society we live in. Am I skinny enough? Am I beautiful enough? Am I smart enough? Am I successful enough? Am I kind enough? Am I like not too much? I'm too little. I'm like, so many questions that you're just stuck and you're blocked in this limited reality. So I step forward regardless how my heart is racing, and I go and say, hey, I saw you across the room. Or if I know someone, it's like, oh, someone told me about this about you, or what are you up here for? Like, do you know anyone? I just start saying something, and by the end of it, I will know, because I also use my energy to know, is there a good connection? Is there a good vibe between us? I don't want to just go and talk to someone and be like, I'm alone, I'm single, so now I need to find someone. And then the first person that gives me attention, damn, I'm done. I date them. No, you take your time. Know that this is right for you. Just recorded a video on divorce, and the biggest lesson was make sure your decisions are right for you. They feel right to you. Don't go from a space of fear or alone or, oh my God, I need to have kids by the time I'm 30. I'm 34 tomorrow. And I hear people saying, so, the clock. I'm like, if I want to, I can even adopt by the end of it. So let's just say it's safe. I'm good. It's all good.
Excellent. So basically, you are helping people to start with the communication, to have a self-love, self-respect, and I would say like also like they are owning their sexuality, so they understand how they approach people and what kind of people they want to actually approach. And I also think, which we discussed before, like you can help pairs to build a better relationship and sexuality, even if they are married, because it's a long-term relationship, and people, if they don't communicate properly, they also might face like this is the problem, and they ignore, and then they actually are losing opportunity to live beautiful life, as you said, because sexuality is so important, and that energy is the still most powerful energy. I mean, because, at the end of the day, because of sexuality, we all exist, right? We are all right here, right now. So excellent, Alexandra. Thank you so much for your introduction. Please, all of you who are looking this video after, not in the live version, please be free to reach out to Alexandra, ask her direct questions. You can connect with her on the Facebook. And maybe, Alexandra, you can, because I know you are tired, you just came from the different continent, you travel all around the world. Do you have any maybe final advice for all women in this group, how they can actually improve their sexual life, if they are in a relationship, or even they are single? Like, what will be your advice for them? And maybe we can finish with that. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. And again, thank you for the opportunity to talk to your group. I think the biggest thing that I would always point is shame and guilt. We need to heal and get rid of these things. We have too much shame, and there was too much shame and guilt built and constructed in our life, from religion to culture to family to society, you name it. When those things are embedded in our sexuality, in our confidence, in our self-esteem, they hold us back and they make us smaller than we are. We end up giving our power away as women. A lot of that I see. We give away the power because we somehow believe that we need to allow someone else to make certain decisions for us, or tell us what we can and cannot do, or tell us our worth. No. The biggest shift in my life was when I started getting rid of shame and guilt and recognizing I am a sexual human being. I am someone who adores being adored, who loves people, who wants to be loved, who wants to interact and have great relationships. So I am in control of that part of me. There's very little we can control in our life, even though we may think we are. We don't really truly control life. The only thing that's controlled and certain is death. Aside from that, nothing is certain. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. So would you want to live, if tomorrow never comes, the next few hours regretting things, feeling down or feeling inhibited, or like feeling that you're not fully yourself? So that's the main question, is like, if I cannot have tomorrow, this is all I have now, how would I live my life? Would I let shame and guilt, would I let people tell me what to do and not to do? Would I let them tell me who I am in my body and what to do with my body? No, because you have a small amount of time to fully enjoy life. So that's the biggest thing, either if you're a guy or a girl. But for women, I would say own your power. Know that you are lovable, worthy, deserving of the best. No need to settle. And don't think you're too much if you're successful or you have a business or people are intimidated by you. I was even told, you look so great and confident and amazing, and you travel the world and you do all this. It looks like nothing could hurt you. I'm like, be mean and rude and violent to me and that will hurt me. I'm human. I'm not perfect. I may embody certain qualities now, but I still go and cry in my bed if something affected my emotions, because I am allowing myself to go in that space. I'm not a robot. So you can be emotional and still be strong. You can be vulnerable and still be confident. Those things do not like nullify each other.
Mutual
You
exclusion.
could have a confident and a successful life and an amazing relationship. You could be single, young, you could be in your 30s, you could be in your 40s and still discover yourself. You could be in a marriage for 10 to 20 years and still have passion and excitement and mystery. It's the commitment and the choice we put in it, and don't let others tell you otherwise.
Thank you. That's a great advice. Thank you, Alexandra, and enjoy in Bali. And when you will have some retreat session, please invite me. I will be happy to come together with my wife, and we can have a great session.
For sure. I'm meeting a few people in the next few days. We'll see. Maybe something comes up. So we'll keep you posted.
Thank you. And for all of you guys, if you have questions for Alexandra, please be free to ask her or reach out to her directly. Alexandra, thank you very much one more time, and see you soon. Enjoy Bali. Thank you.
See you. Bye.
Bye-bye.